right, here we go again. Okay, welcome everyone. It's Iyano again. Welcome everyone to another episode of You Have a Story with ToTsFrishion. And today, I have an amazing person. I know I say amazing to everybody, but everyone is amazing. In the person of Ulrika Watts. She's my colleague at work actually, and we're gonna dive into the conversation of how we started this talking and how she eventually agreed to be a guest on this podcast. She, she's a very, I would say, she's a lovely colleague to work with. Anytime I
Thank
work with her,
you.
she's always helping out. So personally, I know on a personal level a little bit and on a colleague level. So it's great to have you. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Glad to help.
And as you know, You Have a Story podcast. It's an extension of the brand ToTsFrishion, where we use our platform to share cancer stories of those who've been affected with cancer, either directly or indirectly. So
Mm-hmm.
today, Eureka has been affected with cancer indirectly. She had some loved ones who had passed away with cancer in the past. And very soon, we're going to dive into the story. But before we start, we love games over here. So we're going to switch it up today and we're going to play this or that. So um, Eureka, you're gonna tell me. I'm gonna give you two options.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what your favorite is, and we'll go from there. So,
Okay.
winter or summer? What do you prefer?
Summer.
Summer, and why is that?
Because it's hot, it's warm, the weather's pretty, the skies are always pretty. Just more pleasant.
Yeah, I think every time I ask people that question, winter or summer, they're always going for summer because who
Mm-hmm.
wants winter? It's so cold.
Exactly.
It's just no.
I'm
And
ready for it to go now. So
like I mean, the groundhog told us it's spring, so I hope the groundhog is correct.
exactly. I'm ready.
We're ready. um, so next one, do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. I'll pass. I know you. She's always having a cup of coffee in the morning of
Coffee. All day.
and so moving along, would you prefer I would say if you were to go for a vacation, would you prefer being in the United States or outside the United States?
Outside.
Why? Tell me.
Well, it's prettier. The
Mhm.
waters are pretty. I still don't swim, so I'll wade, whether it's a ocean or a swimming pool. But
Mhm.
it's prettier over there. It's I don't know. The atmosphere is just different.
Okay.
It's good to go away.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's so pretty outside the United
Mm-hmm.
States. I mean, there are places in the United States that
It
are very
is.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's nice to explore other countries too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
Okay. And lastly, before we dive into why we're here, would you prefer sunrise or sunset?
Oh, that's a hard one. I like both of them. And
Okay.
while I'm away in other countries or islands, is both of them are beautiful. Can I say both?
You can be in the middle. It doesn't matter. There's
Oh,
no yeah. You can
they're
be in the middle.
so
Okay.
sunsets because it's like you get the different colors and stuff when the
Mm,
sun is setting. So I'll say sunset, but
yeah.
both of them are beautiful.
Personally, I think I really don't know too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll do both too. It's just so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
It is. It's
Mm,
like you just look at God, like that's God doing His business.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we got to know a little about Eureka, and now we're gonna dive into a story. So tell us, how has a cancer affected you?
Well, my grandmother died of cancer. I was only 8, but I still remember her um, years ago. My mom's mother. So
Mm-hmm.
my mom was a young woman with 3 kids, and her mom died. I won't say prime of her life, but early in her life.
Hmm.
And also, my uncle's wife died of cancer at a young age. I think my grandmother was like 50, early 50s, around my age, early 50s, and my aunt was like 36. So it was young. They were young.
So what were the emotions? I know you said you were just 8, but at 8, I believe we remember a lot because
Hmm.
I was 12 when my mom died of cancer, which kind of brought this
Mm-hmm.
purpose and this mission of telling cancer stories. And my sister was 5. And
Mm-hmm.
I was interviewing my sister. She said she remembers a lot. Even although she was
Mm-hmm.
5, she remembers a lot.
Yes.
What can you remember around the circumstances of when she was diagnosed with breast cancer up until the funeral and when she passed away?
Well, we didn't know. Of course, we were kids, so we didn't know what really happened. I just know she had passed, and it wasn't until when I got older that I knew it was breast cancer and all of that. So what my aunts and what my mom would telling me is like kind of what I know around that time. I just remember going to. We're from Mississippi, so my grandma was in Mississippi, and so we would go there for summers and every summer
Mm-hmm.
to live with them. So I remember the summers together. Not everything vividly, but I remember going to see my grandparents in the summertime. And I know I like that because we continued even after she passed. Yeah.
And what about you said your sister-in-law, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you remember the circumstances around her being diagnosed with breast cancer and up until the time of death?
What I remember with her, and I was probably in my 20s. Again, I didn't know that it was that bad. I
Mm.
did remember visiting her in, I don't know if it was a hospice or it was just like I think it was a women's hospital, but I didn't know it was hospice.
Hmm.
For some reason, I guess they just don't tell us everything.
Yeah.
But I do remember seeing her, and then maybe a few months later, she passed. And like now looking at it, I could see death in her eyes,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. But at
Yeah.
the time, I didn't know that it was that far along.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's about this has impacted you in a different way, right?
Mhm.
Actually being close to your grandmom and you having like a sister-in-law that's died, this has impacted you in a way. So
Mhm.
hear how this has influenced your life, having someone who has passed with this, I would say, label of a diagnosis with breast cancer.
Mhm. Well, it was my uncle's wife, so it was my aunt.
Okay,
Mhm.
fine. Okay.
So I know it makes me more aware for myself with them being young.
Mm-hmm.
It's like do myself breast exams and go get my annuals because we are at risk because it's so close.
Mm-hmm.
Maternal. Make sure I get my exams and I'm checking my breasts. Like my daughter's coming up, I'm gonna be telling her about it as well. So it's
Mm-hmm.
more like it helped me to be more aware because, like again, they were young, and that's scary to die from a cancer so young. So you want to try to prevent if you can, as much as you can.
Yeah,
You know.
that's very important. I really do agree with you. It
Mhm.
makes you really conscious of go.
Mhm.
Although there are times whereby you kind of understand what's going on,
Mhm.
and it makes you self conscious, and you want to do all you can to prevent
Mhm. Mhm.
getting to that stage.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's amazing. But after all of this, what would you say to like people who've been going through like the grieving process? Oh, before we even dive into that question, how did you grieve? I know you were 8, but
Mhm.
because grieving takes a long time. So
Mhm.
when you realize that, oh, your grandmama's passed with cancer, did you grieve at all? Cause
I did. I remember crying.
mm,
I remember crying about that. And then now it's like time helps heal, but you still remember and you still try to keep them like alive in your heart. Um, my grieving for that was like I cried about it, but because I was so young and it was so many years ago, time kind of helped balance, the grieving process and help me through it. My aunt was I was older when my aunt died. I cried for that, but it's just like I don't know. I got through it. I don't know what other way to put it. Um,
I'm
remembering them, talking about them with the family and stuff, that really helps. I like to talk with my aunts and them so they can like keep her memory alive, and but then I also wonder, like, why did they have to die so young,
hmm.
and like what would our lives be like if my grandma was here, how different it would be, but better, because she get to share these things with us. So acceptance comes with time as well.
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
it's I still wonder that, like, man, if my grandma was here, and then like my aunt, to see her boys grow up and have kids and things like that. So I mean, we just have to know that it was God's will. It
Hmm.
was their time. Unfortunately, it was they were young, and they had succumbed to that. But prayer helps, healing and all of that. That helps.
Yeah. I really do agree with like your
Mhm.
last. You realize it was God's will.
Mhm.
Personally, too, I would say when I was 12 and when all this happened, I was just looking back a few days ago, and there was a time I was questioning God. I was like,
Mhm.
all the stories I heard in Bible school, like in Sunday school, you were healing the sick, you were raising the dead,
Yes. Mhm.
you raised Lazarus. So
Mhm.
why is it that my case was different?
Mhm.
And I remember being a 12-year-old and just praying and praying and
Yep.
realizing that like God did not answer that prayer.
Yeah. And
And
that's hard. That's really hard, even as a kid. And then as an adult too, when things don't go our way, we have to realize that was not for us. That plan there or that road there was not for us. And you just have to, not to be more mature about it, but because when you're a kid, you don't see that.
mm,
You don't see that as a kid. Is the question is why? Is that's just why did this happen?
mm-hmm.
And why my mom or why my dad or grandmother or whatever. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a process,
yeah.
definitely.
It's a process, yeah. And I'm gonna tie into what you just said, like grieving it's a process. I had like a grief coach who came on here and just talked about grieving God's way and
Mm-hmm.
it's a cancer diagnosis. And she was talking about grief it being a process and it's okay to relapse.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because I remember at some point, even before starting this podcast, before voicing out what had happened, before sharing my pain with other
Mm-hmm.
people, I went
Mm-hmm.
through all the process. I regressed at some point, regressed to the anger stage again. Like,
Yes.
if you're God, like, why did you allow this to happen?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I later realized it's for very good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just to bring
Exactly.
something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. This is sorry. I remember when we first started talking about this at work, we were very emotional at some point.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We were able to get ourselves back together and go back to work.
Yep. Nobody ever knew we had our private conversation.
It was just between you and me.
Yes.
That's it.
That was our time.
hmm All right.
Yes.
So, the next thing I want us to discuss is like, how would you, if someone comes to you, like right now,
Mm-hmm.
how would you encourage them, especially if their loved one is going through like a cancer diagnosis?
Actually, now my sister-in-law did go through ovarian cancer, but she's in remission. And
Mm,
this was a few years ago. So even though we didn't live in the same place, my cousins and I with her, we prayed about it. We're a praying family. We get in our little group chats and send praises up to God, and um, just the same. Like, this is something that we have to go through, but we can go through it together. You
mm,
know, and thank God the outcome was good, and she's in remission and she's doing great. But yeah, it was a tough time. I did my crying. I didn't let her see that, because I know she was going through so much other stuff too with that diagnosis. So I didn't. I held myself up for her. But I did my crying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I really like what you said, that you did your own crying, but you held yourself up to her. And
Mhm.
we're raising prayer altars. So
Mhm.
at that point, yes, medicine is doing their own job on
Mhm.
the side, but we know we have a Father in heaven.
Yes.
He's all things.
Yep. And
He,
he delivered. Yes, he did.
we're
She's
not
good.
his mission. So
Mhm.
yeah, I believe that's some encouraging words to people, right?
Mhm.
Do what you have to do, but at the side have a
Mhm.
community
Yep.
where they're like believers and raise
Mhm.
prayer, because prayer works.
Yep, and she caught it early. So you see early signs of anything, you know
Mhm.
your body, something's not right, you check it out. And then you ask them to run tests, make sure that I don't have to come back for this. I need to know what's going on. If it hurts right here, tell them to do a scan or something, anything. You
Mhm.
catch it early. If you're bleeding down there, you shouldn't be bleeding. You know this.
Mhm.
Look into it. Don't let it just, oh, it'll go away. Get into it, figure out what's going on, because that probably saved her life, because she knew it wasn't right. I need to go, and she's young again,
Yeah.
another young one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
This is coming from a nurse, people.
Oh
Let's
yeah, I forget where I am. Just I forget. Yeah.
right. It's all right. You see, you get encouragement over here in your story with ToTsFrishion. You get encouragement when you get nursing and
Yes.
so
Yes.
yeah. But thank you for that though. That's
Mhm.
some like things to look out for. Yeah.
Mhm.
As we round up,
Absolutely.
what some encouraging words you would tell someone whose loved one is passed away with cancer? Like if you're talking to me right now, maybe as
Mhm.
a 12-year old, what would you tell me?
It's okay to cry. You got to be strong. Know that God hears you,
Mm-hmm.
and if it doesn't turn out the way you want to, He's there to help you. You have your family. Just know, like I said earlier, it's His will. He'll get you through. Don't be mad at God, because God don't make mistakes. Unfortunately, it happened to you, but God is everything. God will get you through. Just lean on Him. Lean on God to help you through. It doesn't happen fast, but you'll get there. You'll get to a point where you can help other people, where your encouraging words will help others get through as well. And you can't say don't be mad, because that's just, we're human. That's what we do. We get mad. Why is this happening? But in the same token, He don't make mistakes. Something good can look what you were doing. You're doing a wonderful job, through your grief and your pain. But you'll get through it. Just don't forget God.
Mm.
Carry Him with you. Take you through the process. You'll be good.
Yeah. Don't forget God. You make me just emotional just
I
talking.
know. I'm like, let me stop, because I'm like, don't start it, girl. I know.
I shouldn't have included that 12-year-old because it took me way back. I should have just been like, how do you encourage people? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
But it's all good. Well,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for those words of encouragement. Those
Yes.
are really very impactful, especially in our day and our time.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that there are people out here who have gone through what we've gone through before,
Mm-hmm.
not alone,
Yes.
not the end of the world. There's still hope
Mm-hmm.
at the end. There's still
Mm-hmm.
hope even in midst of like the darkness.
Yes.
Yeah. So
You have to continue to live your life. You'll never forget. And you treasure the memories. That's why now it's good to make sure you have good relationships with people, because you just never know what's next, what's up ahead, and you don't want regrets.
mm,
So cherish your family members and your friends, because this world is uncertain.
yeah, it's very short.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mhm.
is very short, and time goes by really fast.
Mhm.
Before you know it, you're in your 20s, in your 30s, your
You're
40s.
50. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I love the fact that you said cherish time, cherish your loved ones,
Mhm.
give them some extra hugs.
Mhm.
Everyone that's listening, go right now and give your family members some extra love
Yes.
because
Mhm.
you never know when it's their time. I'm not saying I'm not a doomsday sayer,
Yes, exactly. I know what you're saying.
but it's the reality of life. I think
Mhm.
that's one thing that made I think after having someone who died, it just gave you a reality shock. Be like,
Mhm.
you can go at any time.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's no like if God says, okay, it's time now.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
you gotta be you just have to be ready and do all of the necessary things you have
Mhm.
to do while you're living here on our earth. So
Just know this. Make sure you know Him, so you
mm,
can live again.
that's important. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up here.
Yes, because I'm like, yes, come on. Yes. I got you.
Woo!
Yes.
I mean, just you it was like you hit the nail on the head. Pum, pum, pum.
Mhm.
Just know him so you can live again. Period.
Mhm. Yes, that's it.
Yes,
Cool.
seriously. I don't even think I need to add anything else to what you just said.
Mhm.
Just know him so you can live again. Let that sink in, people. Let that
Yes,
sink in. So, do you have anything else to add before we round this up?
I'm done because I'm
Go.
feeling it. I'm done. This was good.
Aw,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Thank you for coming here to share your story, for encouraging people
Mhm.
who are going through, who have gone through the
Mhm.
grief process of having a
Mhm.
loved one died of any form of cancer.
Mhm.
Thank you. I hope if you listen to the end of this recording that you are encouraged. Know that above all else, God is with you.
Yes.
You'll get through this. This
Mhm.
is not the end.
Mhm.
I am here standing. She's here standing. You're gonna stand too.
Amen.
You will stand. So,
One important good thing too is it's my mother's 70th birthday today.
oh,
So for her to, I'm gonna tell her to tune in so that she can see that we're paying tribute to her mom too on her birthday.
happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy,
For birthday, mama.
this warms my heart. I think
Mhm.
this is all God. Now I feel this is God ordained.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love it. Well,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. And I
Yes.
know she's looking down on you today and
Mhm.
in there, a memory still living on beyond
Mhm.
70
Yeah.
years ago. So,
Yes, I appreciate you.
yeah, you're very welcome.
Yes.
Hey people, we've come to another end of You Have a Story with ToTsFrishion, where we share cancer-related stories of cancer, people who have been directly or indirectly affected with cancer. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please tune in again next month for another incredible episode. So,
Yes.
till then, see you again and love you all. Bye.